If you asked me 2 years ago who I trusted most in the world, I would have said Ethan. We met when we were 12, two nerds in the same summer camp, both terrible at sports, both obsessed with the same comics and video games. He was like the brother I never had. By the time we hit our late 20s, we'd survived high school drama, college chaos, and heartbreaks together. We built a tradition. Friday nights were us nights. No partners, no work, no excuses, just pizza, beer, and bad movies. He was my family. And then, like most betrayals, it started small, invisible. When I started dating Leela, Ethan was the first person I introduced her to. They got along instantly, too instantly. She laughed at his jokes more than mine. He teased her like they'd known each other for years. I brushed it off as comfort. Ethan was charming in a loud, slightly cocky way. That's who he'd always been. But then, the small things began. Texts from her that took longer to reply. Inside jokes between them that I wasn't part of. One night, at our usual Friday hangout, I caught Ethan staring at her a bit too long. Not admiration, not amusement, something else. Still, I ignored it. Because when you've trusted someone for 15 years, suspicion feels like betrayal in itself. It was my birthday. Ethan insisted on throwing a small party at my apartment, just the core group. I went along with it, not realizing I was stepping into my own private stage for humiliation. I drank more than usual that night. Leela said she felt sick and went to my room to lie down. Ethan followed soon after, saying he needed to grab his charger from my desk. Something in my gut twisted. I laughed it off, tried to focus on my friends in the living room, but 10 minutes later, the laughter sounded wrong. Hollow. I walked down the hall. The door was slightly open, and I heard it. Her whisper, his voice, that sound you can't mistake no matter how hard you want to. I froze. For a moment, I thought I'd black out. Then I turned around, grabbed my coat, and walked out. No yelling, no drama. Just quiet collapse. They thought they'd hidden it well after that night, pretending nothing happened. I pretended to, but my silence wasn't forgiveness. It was preparation. For 2 months, I said nothing. I let them think I was busy, distant, distracted by work. I watched them dig deeper into their lie. Secret meetings. Texts deleted. Glances they thought I didn't catch. Then one night, Ethan came over. He told me he'd been offered a business partnership by a mutual contact, a small but promising startup. He wanted me to come in as co-founder, since I knew the numbers better. I agreed. Not because I wanted to, but because I finally saw the opportunity to end this the right way, legally, cleanly, devastatingly. We spent months building the business plan. I handled the finances, marketing projections, and filings. Ethan, being the extrovert, managed the meetings and investor calls. Meanwhile, I learned everything. I found out he was secretly redirecting funds from our shared account to a personal PayPal under a fake business name, the same one Leela was using for her freelance photography gigs. They were funneling money from my work into their dream life. New apartment, weekend trips. Subtle little luxuries that didn't match either of their paychecks. I didn't confront them. I gathered proof, invoices, bank transfers, screenshots, voice messages, a perfect archive. When I had enough, I called the mutual investor privately. I explained the situation calmly, professionally. He was furious, not at me, at Ethan. The investor agreed to pull out quietly, but only after our next launch meeting. The meeting was held in a co-working space downtown. Glass walls, catered lunch, the whole show. Leela came too, as the creative consultant. Ethan strutted in like a king. He was all smiles and charm, shaking hands, selling the dream. Halfway through his pitch, I stood up, connected my laptop to the projector, and said, "Before we proceed with funding, I'd like to clarify a few financial details." The first slide was a breakdown of every stolen transaction, his and Leela's accounts highlighted in red. The next screenshots of their private PayPal exchanges. Then, the kicker, an audio file of Ethan bragging to a friend, saying, "He's too dumb to notice, man. He's basically funding my life without even realizing it. The room went silent. Lila's face went pale. Ethan's fake smile shattered. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't gloat. I just said, "The documents have already been sent to the board and to the investor. Also, a police report's been filed. Enjoy your meeting." Then, I walked out. By the next morning, it was everywhere in our industry circle. Ethan was blacklisted. The investor pressed charges for fraud. Leela lost her freelance contract with 2 clients once her name surfaced in the report. They both tried to contact me, calls, texts, even emails, begging me to talk. I blocked them all. Weeks later, I got a letter from Ethan's lawyer asking if I'd considered dropping the case for old times' sake. I sent back a single line: "Old times don't erase new truths." The company we started was officially dissolved. The assets, including the small office, the client list, and remaining funds were liquidated and transferred to me as compensation. Legally, cleanly. A year later, I saw them by accident. A coffee shop, near the train station. He looked older, tired, hollow. She looked away the moment she saw me. For a split second, I felt pity. Then, I remembered the sound of that whisper behind my door, and the pity vanished. I didn't destroy them. I just gave them the mirror they built themselves and made them stare into it. Now, I sleep well. I work with people I trust. And when I look back at that night, the one that broke everything, I realize something strange. It didn't destroy me. It revealed me, because sometimes revenge isn't fire and fury. Sometimes it's the calm hand that rebuilds while the guilty ones burn.